Today marks the final reset before 12.0.7, and that means the patch is really upon us, guys. But is it worth even playing? Maybe you took a break from WoW. Maybe you're just coming back to WoW. Maybe this is the first patch you're going to see at midnight because you've been gone for a while. The thing is it worth playing? 12.0.7 coming with a new raid, all kinds of new content. But should you really be into it? I don't know. Let's see how Marcellian answers the question, is 12.0.7 actually worth playing?
So, are you playing 12.0.7?
I'm tired, boss.
Come on, man, come on. I know you want to.
I think I'm gonna take a break until 12.1, or maybe even last Siren.
Oh, really? You mean you don't want to raid the new boss?
I'm just a little burned out and...
Did you say a new boss? Yeah, with new loot, bigger eye level. Does it have like a...
Oh no, he's getting
like a trinket with a...
He's getting
the
pulled
predictable
in.
stat proc, but mathematically superior enough for you to have to farm it? And a ring and a necklace with forgettable damage procs. Hey man, where'd you go? Hey man, you coming? The raid's about to start. And rounds we go.
It does feel like Blizzard intentionally puts biz items in the new single boss raid because they're like, it's how are we going to get these degens to play the new raid? I mean, they're not just going to do it for an AOTC achievement. We got to think of something else. Well, just put some best in slot trinkets and rings and they'll come back. That's right. And so here they are.
Another patch, another eye level to chase. But 12.0.7 doesn't just come with the raid. It actually brings a bit for everyone, and as with all patches, the biggest question is, should you still bother with it?
Should you play 12.0.7?
Let's talk about the two new zones, Val and Nagatal. Lore-wise, these zones are where the rituals and the void assaults are coming from, since this is where the leaders are originating from. These include zones with treasures, rares, mini objectives, and some quests, as well as currency farm for catch-up gear, cosmetics, and other goodies we have come to expect from every new bit of open world content that the WoW team has been releasing lately. But, of course, there's a catch. If you played Legion Remix or almost any kind of good ARPG, you undoubtedly heard or experienced something similar to world tiers or difficulty levels. Now, I know you know.
You've experienced it in WoW if you played Remix. Legion Remix had the first real world tier content, and that's where they're bringing it from.
Raids and dungeons have these, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, for the most part, whole zones having difficulty levels.
Yeah.
That's what Nagatal and Val are all about. You essentially enter in them through portals, similar to delves or rituals, and choose your difficulty as you do so. The portals rotate as do void assaults, so you get only one zone active at a time. Now, the obvious reason you would do such a thing is because the loot is better, and it is. Man, just look at these quests rewarding you.
And Blizzard recently buffed the loot. When World Tier first came out, when they first announced it, I was like, that was the thing that was bothering me about it. I was like, but this isn't worth doing. Champion gear? Who's going to go do heroic World Tier for champion gear? Or like one piece of heroic because of a quest. That doesn't. So they upped it all. Now basically you got heroic tier dropping hero gear, which is still a little bit behind, but then there's a quest where you can get a myth track piece of gear. Okay, now we're talking, right? You make the rewards, what he's showing right here. I mean, this is, yeah, people are going to go after a cape, belt, or bracers on myth track. That's a good one. So I'm excited for it then. You got that quest out there, that's going to make it worth doing.
With myth gear, dude. Myth gear on quests. It's over. I'm telling you, mythic raiders are rolling in their graves. Oh my god, now everyone is going to have a... However, shit's hard, man, goddamn. Our PTR testing was very brief since, you know, no people and shit. So I did my best soloing with the pet class and all, and fuck that. You cannot kill a rare on your own unless you are playing something with incredible self-sustain or maybe even more gear, maybe tanks or something.
See, what's interesting about this is it's a part of an MMO that requires the MMO-ness to come out. That's what it looks like. And you can't really solo Heroic World Tier, which is kind of cool. I like that. Now, I'm hoping these zones are going to be packed. We'll see how many people are actually doing this. But the fact that you kind of need other people's help kind of makes it cool. Imagine needing a massive multiplayer-filled zone to play a massive multiplayer game.
Like that. The cool part though, outside our stream chat laughing their asses off at me and me trying to hold back the tears. No, where did they come from? Why do they keep coming? No, no, where the fuck? Don't let your pet die. Oh, thank you. Oh shit. Is that this feels rewarding.
Those need to be clipped.
This is something we definitely need more of when it comes to not really solo content, but outdoor content. Stuff people don't use guilds for. We might need to party or look for a group of some kind, but if you can solo, man, this is some dope shit. Currently the difficulties are only normal and heroic, but that's enough because heroic is where the good stuff drops. Pretty much almost max level gear. Overall, if this excites you, you should definitely come back in 1207.
Yeah, it's a cool one. The Omnium Folio. Another
Borrowed
reason you should
power
come back.
is back on the menu, boys. And it fucking sucks, man. God damn, this is one lame-ass system. Okay, I don't like it, but maybe you will.
It's lame. I mean, it's just another tree of power, basically, that we're gonna do. The best thing about it is it doesn't take up a piece of gear slot, right? So it's not gonna be another ring that we gotta farm out gems for, or a belt that we gotta empower or something. It's just a side piece that you're gonna use. It's gonna be a buff on your character. The one thing Blizzard did say, though, is this is not going to be just, hey, a 0.7 feature. They said it'll continue on for the rest of Midnight, so I guess that makes it a little bit better. But did we need it? No, not really. But is it? I guess they wanted to do it instead of nerfing the current content. They're going to buff all the players, basically.
Because you shouldn't have the same likes and dislikes as me, that's for sure.
Zalian, thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge.
What is the Omnium Folio? In 1207, you will do a questline for Romath and Umbric to unlock it, and probably this is the best part of it. Seeing their bromance again is very refreshing. As for the actual borrowed power, it's basically a console similar to the one we have in the Void Storm zone. The console offers you a straight path towards getting slight buffs to your damage, healing, and all of that. All of it is a passive, and all of it seems to just be good enough where ignoring it is a waste, but not good enough to feel impactful or memorable.
Sure, you'll go on Wowhead and you'll just put out the, you know, whatever the best options are for your class based on what the Wowhead article tells you. And that'll be it. You won't even interact with it anymore. You can interact with it anywhere, so you can adjust it based on if you're doing Mythic plus content or raid content if you want to. But really, you're just going to lock it in, set it, and forget it for the most part. The one thing that also kind of sucks about this is it's like time gated. It's going to take like 5 or 6 weeks to fill this thing out because we're going to get one of these things every week. So yeah, you know, it's classic Blizzard shit. I think 5 weeks is going to take to finish it.
It's one of those player powers you don't know you have unless you are using a damage meter to spot it. The main issue I have with it is that it's a weekly lockout cap progression thing. You only get 1 point of advancement per week, meaning you need 5 weeks to get the whole thing. Seeing as how the patch will last for about 8 weeks or so, probably 7, you really only get to play with it for about 2 to 3 weeks before Season 2 launches. So far, it's looking like it's going to stay for the rest of Midnight, but unless it scales with your eye level or something like that, it's as forgettable as that 1% crit chance node you put a talent into 3 months ago. If a new player power progression thing is what you are looking for, I do not recommend you come back for 1207 just for the folio, or let's call it for what it is, a stale carrot on a dry stick dangled in front of you to keep you subscribed.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say too, if you want to skip 12.0.7, that's fine. The fact that this thing is time gated won't matter to you. I would just tell you come back the week before the new season starts, so you could just power up this thing really quick. Because the Omnium Folio is supposed to continue beyond this patch, but you'll be able to do all of the shit for it in 1 week, the final week. So it won't be time gated anymore. Just crank it out, fill the stupid tree out, and you're ready for the next season.
Ugh.
The Sporefall raid, yeah, new raid.
The new raid, however, ooh, baby, we made a whole video on how the raiding scene has changed Midnight and has the potential to completely shift the endgame raiding in future expansions. So I won't dive too deep into the details of Sporefall, the one boss mini raid in Harrendar. What you will be interested to know is about the Mythic difficulty. This is the first Mythic boss, or raid rather, that is Flex. Currently, it's set to scale with a dynamic group ranging from 15 to 25 people. This makes it easier for aspiring but yet unconvinced Mythic Raiders to hop in their first Mythic Raid boss with a very low barrier of entry. And because of it being flex, it's most likely going to be way easier than any other Mythic boss that we've had so far. Additionally, this makes already existing Mythic guilds, such as ours, have an easier end of the season raid where not all members are still active. Not having to rely 100% on exactly 20 people is refreshing and can keep a guild warmed up for the next season.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
That is one thing to be excited about. The second is the loot. Actually, this is not interesting in the sense that the items are interesting, but rather that their eye level...
It's so blatantly obvious. The whole Spore Fuse system, which ups the item level, I think by like 9 item levels compared to what we get right now. I think 291's the highest or something. We're getting 298 here. Yeah, people are going to... Yeah, they're going to be excited about it. They're going to want that up that item level. Blizzard knows what kind of carrot and stick to use with us. Hey, you could get your item level a little bit higher if you go do the new raid.
Is higher than the rest of the raids. On one hand, it gives you a reason to farm more gear, which is always nice considering how quickly we have geared this season. On another, the extra item level is yet another power increase for already existing raiders to push their progression fast.
You guys talking about carrying me right now in the current raid content? What are we talking about here? As I said this before, as a man of the people, of course I'm going to let the people carry each other through the raid, and I'm part of the, we're just going to all carry each other. If I carried the people, then I'm no longer a man of the people, I'm the leader of the people. You understand? That's why I hold back. That's why I play the way I do. Okay, we all get it now? Good.
Faster, and hopefully get their curve, or cutting edge, sooner than in past tiers. The loot table is just 5 items for everyone, meaning with the Nebula scores, you should get this cleared within a month or so if you are super unlucky. Everyone shares a ring, a trinket and a necklace, all of them being cantrips. The neck piece offers an absorb and a small damage proc that works off of you doing some healing, which of course will affect the proc chance of certain specs way more than others. The ring activates a damage proc when dealing nature damage. Again, something classes like Warlocks can't do anything about directly. If the nature damage from other items can also proc it, then maybe that's different. The trinket is
good old cantrip item. Blizzard knows how to get us with those too.
a simple secondary stat proc together with a chunk of leech, which is always useful. As for the items, plate wearers get a chest and a waist.
Nice.
Mail wearers get legs and feet. Leather gets headpiece and waist, and cloth gets chest and feet as well. All of these items are 9 item levels higher than every other item of their same tier.
9 item levels. So there you go. That's the yeah, somebody was like 91 to 98 is not 9 item levels. Yeah, I clearly did the math wrong there. But yeah, it is 9 item levels. I just forgot what the hell cap was right now. It's because of those, the void, what's it called? The void things that we use to buff those 3 slots of, trinkets and weapons right now. It throws me off in terms of what is actually cap right now.
Here, so it would be as if you already used the Ascended Void Course to upgrade them. Most likely, the increase in item level is enough to justify running the raid. Time to level all of your alts, people! The Turbulent Timeways event will come back with the week of June the 30th and will go on until August the 11th, which is when we speculate the patch 12.1 will launch.
I agree.
Every week we will have a time walking event starting with Dragonflight in the first week, then followed up by BFA, then Shadowlands, Classic, the Burning Crusade, and Dragonflight once again. During this time, on top of the usual time-walking cosmetics and goodies that you can buy from their respective vendors, you'll get a buff when completing dungeons called Knowledge of the Timeways. This will give you a 5% experience bonus. Completing more dungeons extends the duration of the buff and the strength of it, applying more stacks until you have it 4 times. When that happens, it will transform into Mastery of the Timeways.
So in layman's term, okay, you want to get the achievement for this thing and get the cool mount that I'm sure he's going to show you in a little bit here. How do I know that? Maybe I pre-watched, I have no idea. But upon reaching 4 applications, you get the Mastery of the Timeways buff. You got to get that buff for 4 weeks of the 6 weeks this event is live. Okay, that's how it works. So basically, you got to run 4 time-walking dungeons every week for 4 weeks. And that's it. They don't have to be 4 weeks in a row. You got 6 weeks to get this hammered out. Pick 2 weeks that you're not going to do it. Whatever. Maybe you go on vacation for 2 weeks. Then the other 4 weeks, you got to do this buff.
Into Mastery of the Timeways, giving you a 30% experience bonus and persisting through death. During this event, if you can maintain this buff for any 4 weeks, you will get the Spawn of Viranoth mount, which, as a non-fan of Proto-Drakes and Proto-Aspects, I will 100% be getting this one.
I did not pre-watch it, but it's very obvious he was going to show them out in the next scene.
Questions have been running in the community, which Blizzard has addressed lately. The Mastery of the Timeways buff and previous versions of this buff will be character specific and not apply to your warband. There was a miscommunication on it when it was announced, with it sounding like it would be a warband wide buff. Now they might still go back on it, because you never know, but be careful during the event and make sure you don't miss out on the mount no matter what. Don't drop this buff.
If you do miss out on the mount, you can buy it with your Time Warp badges the next time the event comes back. So it's not the end of the world.
Also, the 30% bonus experience buff will, for all we know, stack with the 25% Warband Mentor experience buff, provided you already leveled 5 vaults by now, and the Turbulent Timeways will also overlap with 2 Dark Moon Fair events that also give you a 10% experience buff if you do the little Dark Moon thingies. This can go all the way to 65% bonus XP. This sounds like a lot of experience, which I think is perfectly fine considering how slow leveling has been this expansion. There might still be other sources that could stack, and the devs can always pull a 180 and say the 30% experience buff will not stack with other similar buffs. So, you know, keep that in mind. If you care about collecting mogs, playing alts, and overall enjoying what WoW has to offer, this event alone is worth playing 1207 for.
Yeah. I agree. I think the time walking thing is one of the most exciting things they're bringing.
The story continues with Zul'Jan in his search for his ancestry and meaning of the Amani. Personally, we have not played the campaign yet since both of us are fans of the Amani race and zone, less so of the story, but we will want to experience it while it launches during the event. There are a few chapters which will likely be gated each week as all campaigns go. Gotta make up those sub numbers, baby! So don't expect any big surprises there. A cool addition.
I actually think this thing is, they said when it's coming out, man, I gotta look at the patch notes again, but it's like 4 weeks into this is not dropping for like 4 weeks or something into the launch of the patch. This is like midway through the patch we're gonna get this thing, or like the last 2 weeks of the patch we get this storyline. So I mean, like I said, if you really you're gonna want to take a little break, I mean, you could come back the last week, get your Omnium Folio all set up, and then do this campaign to get yourself caught up on the story. Probably the whole thing would take you probably an hour to do the campaign if it's even that long, probably maybe 20 minutes if not, and you're all set. You're ready for the season to kick off with 12.1.
As all campaigns go, gotta make up those sub numbers, baby! So don't expect any big surprises there. A cool addition is a new lore walking option with the Loa that will tell the story of the Zandalari, Drokari, Gurubashi, and Darkspear trolls. Normally these lore walking bits are set to either retcon lore, which I imagine this will do, clarify lore, usually good for new players that haven't played old versions of WoW, and or prepare the foundations for future story patches, which I think is the most likeliest of the bunch. The same thing happened with Ethereals and Xalatath before Midnight. The same thing happened with Blood Elves before Midnight, and so on. A part of me secretly hopes this will tie into more troll content, but specifically into getting more trolls as allied races.
I'm confused by this just a little bit though. Where's Bwonsamdi at? Is he not still a Loa? I mean, where has he been? We are really going to get into a whole troll patch right now, and probably one of the most popular troll characters, or troll Loa. We haven't even heard his voice. Did like the voice actor quit or something? What a cool guy he was. And I'm still wondering, I'm like, when's Bwonsamdi coming back? Are we going to see him again? Death Loa? You know, the Void is afraid of death. Maybe he'd be relevant at some point here. I don't know. Maybe I'm calling it out and I've already pre-played the content. I know Bwonsamdi's coming back. Who knows? But I'm hoping he does.
Money in particular. This is scope, but
I think this will be cool.
We will see with the 12.1 patch being focused around trolls and the new Mega Delve, the Labyrinth, which from what we know might be in Zul'Aman or the new zone. There are other events and content that will come out, but overall I think 12.07 is going to be a chill patch that will be good for people that like to play WoW and not be bored. However, if you are expecting something new and exciting, something that will give you a reason to play that 12.05 hasn't done by now, I'm not sure if this patch is going to scratch your itch, since it's just more of the same. We like the content so far, most of it, and if they use it as a blueprint to make stuff like flex mythic raids, open world difficulty tiers, challenging content, and unique one-of-a-kind mounts that are relatively grindy to get, I am all for it, and I hope they use this to study and prep future patches. I mentioned the new raid and our existing video on it, which you should check out for more details. A thank you to our patrons for always supporting the content and making this possible. We are grateful for all of the support you guys show, and we'll make sure to keep doing cool videos for you going forward.
Yeah, nice video overall, and like I said, I mean, the way this patch is kind of laid out, and Blizzard's been good at this, you don't have to play it. You really don't. I mean, if you come back, like I said, just for the last week, you can do everything that you would want to do in this patch to really prep yourself for the next season, which would kick off with 12.1, which does look like it will be August 11th, which kind of sets you up really that if you want to take the summer off from WoW, you totally can. Now, I know most people in my chat are fucking degens, so you guys are going to play through this frickin' patch just like I will. And we'll do it as we play through the summer times and everything else, rather than touching grass, and that'll be fine. I'm kind of excited for time walking. We'll do the new raid. We'll have fun with it all. But like I said, nothing seems to be required in this thing. Just come in there last week and finish out the stuff you got to with the Omnium Folio and everything else. A nice video, though, overall, from Marcellian and Flame.